Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Promise. Today I would like to draw your attention on writing a good PhD synopsis. I hope this presentation will give some ideas to young researchers for effective writing of their PhD synopsis. First of all, let me start the definition of a synopsis. A synopsis is a short summary of the most important informations required to research. Here a short summary includes a summary of introduction, summary of literature review, summary of statement of your research problem, objectives of research, summary of research methodology, and last one is summary of significance and scope of the study. Now let's talk about the selection of a research topic. One of the most important steps before writing a good PhD synopsis is selection of a research topic. Generally, the topic for researcher or beginner are emerged from the following sources: expert suggestions, theories propounded, previous research work, conflict, social change and development, consultations, and last one is general interest of research, and we can say general interest of researcher. Research topic must be precise, brief, and reflecting the correct relationship among the variables. Here, variables means dependent and independent variables that you are using in your research. The new researchers or beginner generally committed the following errors in research or in selecting the topic. That one is refers broad area of study, narrowing a topic to such an extent that it becomes insignificant for research purpose. Last one is employing unscientific terms of argumentative and biased nature. So researcher or the beginner of research have to avoid such type of error while selecting the topic. The following are the questionnaires. The researcher for selecting of a research topic have to think about these questionnaires. So I will just read about the questionnaires. Does it arise interest amongst peer community? As the researcher have to think. Is it novel and formative? Is it significant to the interests of research for the researchers and the peer community? Is it feasible to conduct the research? Does the researcher have the relevant competence or enough competence? Does the researcher has access to pertinent data? That is very important, whether that may be the primary data or secondary data. Does the researcher have access to get the proper guidance? Does the researcher have the necessary financial resources to carry on the study? Does the researcher have enough time? Time plays one of the significant role in research. So we have to consider the time factors also while selecting the topic. Does the researcher have enough determinations to pursue the research? So these all are the very important things as the researcher have to consider where selecting a research topic. The outline of a synopsis are highlighted here. Now I will just read it. Introduction, literature review, statement of the problem, significance of the topic, objectives of research, research hypothesis, research methods and approach, scope and limitation, tentative chapterizations. Last one is bibliography. Now I will briefly discuss each content. First I will start with an introduction part. Introduction is the main section in a synopsis. Every researcher has certain questions in their mind that what to write in introduction. So few important points as per my knowledge I am highlighting here. So while writing introductions, the researchers have to consider aims of the research. Second one is emergence of the research problem, that should be highlighted in introduction. Definition of terms of research problems, delimitations of the research problem, your notion of selections of the research topic, what motivated you to do the research. These are the important factors you have to consider while writing a introduction. Apart from that, you have to consider why you conduct the research. What is the purpose of your research? When you conduct the research, where you conduct the research. These are the important points that you have to consider while writing an introduction. Let's talk about literature review. Literature review is the second step which is to be carried out in research. The literature review is not just a list of methods used by previous scholar or conclusion made by previous studies. Here the researcher main intention should be to identify research gap. That is very much important in research, to identify the research gap. First, the researcher have to understand the types of literature review. Types of literature review, it is given here: narrative review, systematic review, integrative review, systematic review and meta-analysis. I have given here few examples. Psychology discipline follow narrative review. Management, sociology, commerce, political science, discipline, etc. follow systematic review. Human resources, integrative review. Medicine basically follow meta-analysis. If you want to read more about these types of literature review, kindly go through the article which I have given the reference here. Now this is my suggestions to the new researchers. While going through any literature, if you follow this proper table format, it is more easy for you all, because we are not like a machine. What we have read today, that we cannot remember it after 2 or 3 years. So I suggest you, for the researchers, new researchers, follow this table format. So in table format, you have to write topic, author, year, objectives, methodology, variables, findings, suggestions, and last one is research gap. I already told you that research gap plays one of the significant role, because our main intention and objective in literature review is to identify research gap only. So we have to notice about this thing. The last thing is that process of conducting a literature review. Designing the review, you have to understand that whether your literature fall under the category of narrative review or the formative review or systematic review. After that, conducting the review. After that, third process is analyzing the review, and final process is writing the Review. Statement of the research problem. After identifying feasibility of research, the researcher formulates a final statement of a research problem. A statement of research problem can be stated in declarative and interrogative format. Declarative format. Under declarative format, research problem should be clearly states the variables and population. I have given example to you here. Impact of financial literacy initiatives amongst the household of Sikkim. Here variable is clearly defined financial literacy and population is also clearly defined household of Sikkim. Second one is that interrogative format. In interrogative format, a research problem is stated in question form. What is the impact of financial literacy initiatives among the household of Sikkim? Significance of research. A research significance is stated in importance and value in the current scenario. It is very much important. If your research is more important and value in the current scenario, you might be getting more fundings from different institutions and agencies. Another thing is that applicability in research works should be there. Applicability in research work means whether the results are likely to impact on practice. Third one is comparability in the respective field, and last one is ability to explore the research. It means that your research in future time must have that ability to explore more. And another thing is that research objectives. Here I have given the example to you. On the basis of this example, you can set your own objectives according to your research topic. A research objectives is stated in to examine the research problem, to make comparison between various variables, that both dependent and independent variables, to find out the challenges in respect to the research problem, to identify the gaps in research and charter a path for fulfillment of the gap, to investigate using defined process. So on the basis of this example, you can set your own objective. Formulation of hypothesis. The word hypothesis consists of two words, hypo plus thesis. Hypo means tentative or subject to verification. Thesis means statement about solution of a problem. If we merge these two words, hypo plus thesis, it indicates tentative generalizations of the research problems, the validity of which remains to be proved. So we have to prove the hypothesis. Hypothesis is divided into question form hypothesis, declarative statement hypothesis, directional hypothesis, non-directional hypothesis. Research methodology. Research methodology plays a significant role in research. Research methodology is a way to systematically solve a research problem. Now let's talk about research design. Research design occupies very important place and position in the study of research problem. It decides the fate of the proposal and its outcome. You can take the example of research design. Descriptive, research, experimental research, analytical research. These are the example of research design. Now let's talk about sampling techniques. This is very much important in research while selecting the sample. Sampling is divided into probability sampling and non-probability sampling. In probability sampling, there is equal chance of occurrence. In non-probability sampling, there is no equal chance of occurrence. Probability sampling is divided, I have given here, simple random sampling, systematic random sampling, stratified random sampling, cluster random sampling, and last one is multi-stage random sampling. Non-probability sampling are quota non-probability sampling. Purposive sampling is divided into extreme case purposive sampling, heterogeneous purposive sampling, homogeneous purposive sampling, critical case purposive sampling, typical case purposive sampling, and last one is theoretical purposive sampling. And third one of non-probability sampling is volunteer snowball sampling, self-selection sampling. Last one is haphazard sampling, or we can say it as the convenience sampling. So it is not possible to cover entire things in these presentations. So I request, if you want to study more about this thing, I will make another video. Now let's talk about data collection. Data can be collected in primary mode or it may be in secondary mode. I have given example in primary mode in the form of questionnaire, schedule method, interviews method, observation method, documentary method of study, historical method of study. That comes under the primary mode of data collection. If you talk about secondary mode of data collection, it is given here various journal, books, online data from various literature review, data collection from social media, etc. That is secondary mode of data collection. Now let's discuss about sample size calculation. It's very much important in research because in research, if you increase the sample size, your error will be decreased. So here the formula I have given to you. I have given the formula in manually basis, and even I have given the some like the software tools that which can calculate the sample size. If you go through manual basis, it is given here that here in right hand side I have given the formula, in left hand side and right hand side I have given the meaning of what does this N denote, E denote, P denote and Z denote. N indicate or denote population size, E denote margin of error, P denote standard of deviation, Z denote Z score. So that is the formula of calculating the sample size manually. If those scholar want to calculate sample size through some software is also available. I have given the link here. You can just check in software also. Sample size calculation through online mode, it is given here. RawSoft software and link is given here. And another one is Survey Monkey Survey. So this is the method of calculations of sample size. Now let's talk about statistical tool. I have given various statistical tools here. So on the basis of your research work, you can use the statistical tools that I have given here, descriptive and inferential statistical tools. So on the basis of your need of your research, you can use such type of tools. Now last thing is tentative chapterization. So tentative chapterization is classified here into three segments: A, B and C. In A, you can consider chapter 1 and chapter 2. Here I have given the example: general introduction, literature survey, theoretical framework, research design, that you can consider in chapter 1 and 2 in A segment. And another one is in B category. You can take chapter 3, 4, 5 and C, and these chapters are findings related chapter. And last chapter is you can consider in C part: conclusion, suggestions and recommendations. Last thing is that bibliography. So I have given some reference style here: APA, MLA, Chicago, Harvard. So in APA reference style, I have given my own article. Just you can check it, or you can follow this, like the how to write in APA style. And in MLA style, Chicago style, Harvard style, it is given here. So simply you can just take this citation from the Google Scholar, not only my articles, okay, right? If any article you want to take the citation of that article, you can search in Google Scholar. So not need to go for manually. So that is the thing. Thank you so much.